What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on the Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4 and Spider-Man 3. So we have some information today which contradicts information about Deadpool being in Spider-Man 3. Apparently, that is very incorrect. So, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the videos. We are currently doing a giveaway for a Hasbro Marvel Legends Infinity Gauntlet. They retail at over $100. They are pretty cool. So the rules are simple. Just let me know down below what is going on. So let's go over the news. So again, Roger from Twitter, that's followed by absolutely everyone, he is back and he's been tweeting. So he had this to say today. There are no plans to add Deadpool in a MCU Spider-Man 3. So that's pretty interesting. So, reported the other day that there was a report out there saying that Deadpool was going to be in Spider-Man 3. I thought it was a bit fishy. I said it most likely is incorrect. And to be honest, this Roger person on Twitter hasn't been wrong yet. He was right about everything to do with EndGame months and months and months before it comes out. God knows who this Roger guy is on Twitter, but for some reason, everything he says becomes true. So, MCU Cosmic was reporting that Deadpool is in Spider-Man 3. It appears that won't be the case, but it went on to say Sony is desperately wanting Tom Hardy, Venom in this movie. But Sony desperately wants Tom Hardy, Venom in this movie. Now, this makes a lot of sense, but it is a tricky one. Because even though they still own Spider-Man, they own Venom, there's a contract for Spider-Man to be in the MCU. But that doesn't mean that Sony has no say in what, who, how, or where happens inside the movie. So that would be fantastic. We did a video about 2 weeks ago saying that Venom could be inside SpiderMan Homecoming because I've been pushing it for such a long time. Tom Hardy, Tom Holland, they both want to meet on the big screen. And I've been hearing stories about this for such a long time that Sony wants Venom in one of their movies. So having Tom Holland and Venom go at each other, it would be a bit weird because obviously they're in different universes, but there is this multiverse coming from Spider-Man Far From Home, which would make sense. So maybe in Spider-Man 3, which is going to be called Spider-Man Graduation, mark my words. Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man Homecoming was the first one. Second one, Spider-Man Far From Home. Third one, Graduation, most likely. It will make sense. So that is very interesting. It went on to say this. Deadpool had his own movies, but never showed up in the main X-Men films. It will be same for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, I believe this is pretty cool and pretty true. Why? Because Robert Iger has said they won't be changing Deadpool for the MCU. So now Marvel owns Deadpool and the Fox characters. They've not actually said he's going to be in Avengers 5. He's going to team up with everyone. It makes a lot more sense. Once Upon a Deadpool flopped. It really flopped. If anyone says anything different, like seriously, it flopped. Compare Deadpool 1 to Once Upon a Deadpool, it sucked. So it is cool. If this information from Roger is correct, that Deadpool is staying in his own movies, that would be cool. It does make a lot of sense when you think about it, that Deadpool's never been in any of the other X-Men movies. Yes, there's been a lot of teasers and a lot of Easter eggs, if you like, towards the X-Men movies, but Deadpool's never appeared outside of his own movie. It's going to be very interesting because then you have to factor in the fact that Cable and Thanos are technically the same person. They're played by Josh Brolin, but they can simply get around that. How, when, what, why? Well, because Thanos was dusted. The 2014 variation was dusted. As we know, the present version that was beheaded by Stormbreaker, he went for the headshot. Obviously been playing Fortnite, as we see in the future, ends up playing Fortnite, is dead. So the version of the 2014 version is not dead. He's dusted. So that is a bit of a problem, how Josh Brolin could technically be Cable and also Thanos in the same universe, which is cool. But I don't think they're going to merge the universes. That is pretty apparent, but it is going to be cool. So I believe this information that Deadpool, Spideypool is not coming. It wouldn't make any sense to cross-platform that. Not only that, we had the actual creator of Deadpool quoting something about Deadpool actually featuring in Spider-Man, and it was pretty funny what he had to say. And you know, he knows a lot more than anyone else because yes, he doesn't own the movie rights to the character, but I'm pretty sure he has a say in everything. So Rob Liefeld, I presume that's how you say it, he had this to say. He quoted a tweet saying this: "So explain this to me again. Tell me how Disney will give rival studio Sony Pictures the platform to introduce and capitalize on Deadpool meeting Spider-Man. Did Disney buy Sony? And I didn't hear about it yet." So that is interesting, because you got to think about it from a business standpoint. Yes, it would be very good business for both Sony and Marvel, but what you have to understand is after Spider-Man 3, there is no Spider-Man in the MCU. The deal will be over. It ends after Spider-Man 3. Yes, they could very well be renewing it, but you've got this Roger guy saying Deadpool will definitely not be in Spider-Man 3. Then you have the creator of Deadpool saying Disney does not own Sony. So why would they give their character to Spider-Man, to Sony, in order to capitalize and make money? It makes absolutely no sense when you think about it like that. And I'm surprised that more people haven't called BS on this story, because it makes absolutely no sense now when you think about it. Why would they allow a competitive studio rights to use Deadpool in Spider-Man 3, which would blow that movie up even more? Yes, Homecoming didn't do that great. I mean, $850 million offhand, I think it was. That's not really that good for us. It's a freaking Spider-Man movie. That's not great. I mean, Venom did more than that, nearly. So that's not very good, is it, for a Spider-Man movie? I mean, really. Aquaman made more money than that. So that isn't very good, is it? And also, recently, an article came out from CNBC.com that said this: Sony has big plans for Spider-Man Cinematic Universe, but a key hero is unavailable. Spidey. So yes. So if you go on to read this, it says that basically Spider-Man Homecoming grossed $880 billion. No, I'm only joking. 880 million. No way, billion. So essentially what the article is saying is that they have massive plans for the Sony universe, but they don't actually own Spider-Man because of the contract they have with the MCU, which will be ending shortly. It went on to say Sony will face a big decision about how best to leverage Spider-Man when the current deal is over with Marvel, reversing Spider-Man exclusively for its extended universe or keeping the teen hero aligned with Marvel. The absence of Spider-Man hasn't prevented Sony from creating its own universe. As we know, there is the Venom movie, and there's the Jared Leto movie, Morbius, coming out shortly, and they're going to do Kraven the Hunter, stuff like that. But it is a very interesting article, because Spider-Man has a very big rogue of villains. They're going to be building the Sinister Six, but realistically, it's up to Sony. Because at the end of the day, it states here that neither Marvel Studios or Sony declined to comment. Obviously, it says Spider-Man Homecoming made a bunch of money. It went on to say 880 million. But then Venom, which is a standalone movie, made a pretty impressive figure considering everyone hates Sony. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Spider-Man does get pulled out of the MCU. Personally, I think if they can't use Venom, they should pull Spider-Man over to the Sonyverse. I think that would be a lot better. It would be more strategical. So I realistically cannot see Deadpool in the MCU with Spider-Man, because no one's actually said that. But fact, this is coming from a source, and also the fact that the creator of Deadpool also said the same thing, that when did they buy Sony? When did Disney buy Sony? Because a lot of people seem to think Spider-Man is a Marvel character. Yes, he is a Marvel character, but the movie rights are with Sony Pictures. So it's very interesting. So Tom Hardy literally confirmed to be in Spider-Man 3. Maybe. Very, very interesting. So like always, guys, I will keep you up to date with all the latest and greatest Marvel news. Now, he also went on to say this on Twitter: Marvel Studios are a big fan of David Morossi and are considering multiple roles for him during Phase 4. Now, personally, I don't really know who he is, but according to the internet, he was in The Walking Dead, he was in Britannia, he was in Doctor Who in 2005, so yeah, that could be pretty interesting. Multiple roles. He is in his 50s, so I presume that'll be for maybe someone like the High Evolutionary, or maybe a role that is going to serve a deeper process. in the MCU, maybe. The fact that it says multiple roles, so they must have a lot of movies coming. As we know, there's 8 movies they have announced over the next 3 years, so it's going to be very interesting. But I found this tweet very interesting, and seeing as how much traction his other tweet about Rocket creator is high evolutionary and Drax is in for a big surprise when his daughter and blah blah blah, and that kind of stuff, his validity is quite high, seeing as the amount of people that follow this guy, all the other insiders seem to follow him. And he seems to have a lot of credibility, as like I said, all this stuff's true. So no Deadpool in the MCU with Spider-Man. And it looks like Sony are really trying to get Tom Hardy in Spider-Man 3. And Deadpool will not coexist with Spider-Man. Deadpool's movies will be the independent in the MCU. So that's cool because we don't want another Once Upon a Deadpool, do we? You can't fool yourself, guys. Once Upon a Deadpool was pretty bad compared to Deadpool 1. But anyway, guys, like always, please like, subscribe, and comment. I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.